Alright everyone, in response to a couple of my subscribers, I wanted to just to post the cleaning procedure that I use on all of my GSG-5s. I'm going to demonstrate on the PK model, but because all of the different models are basically the same as far as the internal mechanisms, this procedure will work on all three. It's a slightly different procedure than what's in the manual, but the manual is garbage most of the time anyway, because it's translated from German, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I recommend that you dispense with the whole idea of a bore brush and patches, and just grab yourself a Boresnake at your local retailer. Basically, a Boresnake, if you don't know anything about it, it's basically a nylon rope with another rope attached to it and a weight that goes into the barrel. About halfway down, there's a copper brush that's embedded into the Boresnake itself, and then the rest of it is just a giant patch. So you get a lot more surface area. It's really easy to clean, and these are 22s, so it's pretty easy. Anyway, I would recommend that you do that. That's what I use, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate. If you haven't already upgraded your assembly pins, I recommend that you switch over to the HK push pins, because the screw type ones that come with your GSG they're crappy. They're going to strip out eventually, and it's a good thing to do. But if you still have those, step one is going to be to put your flat blade screwdriver attachment into your tool and remove pin 1, pin 2, and pin 3. Of course, before you do that, let me say, check the chamber, check the barrel, and make sure that there's no cartridges of any kind, casings, anything in the breech area, because if the gun is loaded, this is where you can get shot in the foot or the face or something else. So step one, make sure that it's unloaded, and then remove 1, 2, and 3 screws, or push pins. Removed the handguard, the stock or the butt plate, and the screw that's retaining the trigger housing. What you need to do is rotate the gun like so, and you're going to see a bolt stop. It's like a little metal piece here with a screw inside of it. It's going to be an Allen key screw. You can use the tool that came with your GSG. It's got the correct Allen key size. Now, if you're wondering why yours is not black, I have done the screw upgrade. I've upgraded all of the screws in the gun to Allen key screws. I also highly recommend that you do that. You can get those in the GSG equipment exchange on ar15.com. It's a guy named George. Okay, go in there with your little Allen key and loosen that nut, just like so. Okay, didn't quite get it loose enough. Alright, there we go. That should drop right out, and then you can take the Allen key itself and reach in there and just pull up on that bolt stop, just like that, until it drops out. Make sure that you don't lose this little lock washer. Okay, so that's what you should have left over right there. And at that point, make sure that the gun is on safe and pull the trigger housing out, just like that. Now the bolt's going to come out with it, so make sure that it doesn't drop on the floor if you're up on a workbench. Alright, so you should have the trigger housing, the bolt, and the main receiver, or the upper receiver. Okay? Alright, at this point, you'll want to clean out the bolt. Make sure that the firing pin surface is clean. What I like to use is gun scrubber. good stuff, but don't get it on the plastic parts of your gun. It'll destroy that pretty quickly. So just blast the crap out of this with some gun scrubber. Make sure that you get all the carbon deposits out of here, out of the rails, out of the spring area, out of the contact surfaces. Just blast the crap out of it. Okay, at that point, hit the entire bolt assembly with some CLP or some gun oil. You don't want it to be too wet, but you want there to be enough that it's not riding on the receiver without any lubrication. Trigger assembly, there's not much you need to do except just make sure that maybe you put a drop of oil down here on the springs, and make sure that there's no carbon buildup in here. If there is, you can actually take this out and completely disassemble it. The way to do that is take off these two bottom screws. There's going to be an Allen nut or Allen screw in the bottom here that you'll take out, and then the whole trigger assembly, after you take off, there's a little screw, let's see if I can find it, right here, that you take off this handle, and then the entire thing will come out. But that's probably beyond the scope of most people that are going to be doing this maintenance. So just make sure that this isn't all gunky. If it is, wipe it off. Oil the contact surfaces just a little bit, and you should be good to go on the trigger housing. Now, if you're using a Boresnake, which I recommend that you do, the non padded end, I guess you should say, put a tiny bit of gun cleaner on here, like some like Hoppy's number 9 or something like that, and then put some oil or some CLP on the back side of the bristles. So that way you've got cleaner up here, then the bristles, and then oil. And then at that point, to clean the barrel out, I'll take the camera up a little bit here. You would take the little weight on the Boresnake, stick it right there, run it through, okay, and then pull it through just like this, and you should see the Boresnake go in. There go the bristles. You do that once or twice, and it should look nice and pretty like that. See if you can see down the bore. Oh yeah, nice and pretty. Make sure that you wipe off the front. I've got a suppressor adapter on there. If you don't, just take off your end cap of your flash hider and make sure that's all cleaned out. Alright, on the reassembly, after you're done cleaning, make sure that the trigger has been fired, so push in on the release and pull the trigger. Take your bolt, slide it in on the rail guides. Not all the way in though, just about like that. Stick the hammer into that hole and push it forward. At this point, install the bolt stop and the screw and the lock washer, and replace your push pins or screws, and you're done.